Welcome to Stories with Dice. This is the Dark Blue Sea, a Mutant Year Zero actual play podcast. If you're enjoying our actual plays, please subscribe to Stories with Dice so you'll never miss an episode. Don't forget to rate and review us. It really helps others discover the podcast. Follow us on social media to stay updated, share your thoughts, and join the conversation. You'll find the relevant links in the description of each episode.
Welcome back to episode 10 of Dead Blue Sea, our Mutant Year Zero actual play. So, I'd like to say hi to Marco, my faithful co-GM, co-host, co-podcast-related co. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Playing Caspian, the navigator. I think we missed an opportunity. We should have called this campaign Mutants in the Storm.
Or there could still be time. I would have to just re-edit everything then. I mean, how hard can that be?
To the tune of Riders on the Storm, of course.
Of course, naturally. Yeti was giggling in the background there. Chris, how are you?
People are strange when you're a mutant.
You good?
Gives a whole new meaning to the Lizard King.
Oh, dear. Hi, how you doing, Chris?
Hello, I'm so hyped to be playing Master Gear again.
Excellent. We have Pete.
Yep, I'm playing Roach, the Enforcer again.
And Douglas.
Yep, I'm Douglas. I played Cochrane Chronicler, and all those references just went over my head. So
Excellent.
Wow. Not a Doors fan, I see.
about 30 to 40 years before my time.
Well, they were definitely before my time, but I know they exist. Guess I'm the chronicler in this world.
I'm just the right age to that 90s Val Kilmer movie.
This session has gone off the rails.
It's already gone off the rails. Excellent. And we're only like 2.5 minutes in. It's fine. Well, welcome to episode 10. If you haven't listened to anything before us, you're foolish to start now because you won't know what the hell's happened. So go back and listen to the other 9 episodes. Well, we'll jump straight into this one. Roach, I believe that you are going to try and leg it because you tried to, well, in fact, you did. You armored yourself up to sort of like protect yourself from the birds. But in doing so, again, you focused too much and you waited too long. The rest of your group ran off ahead into the green mist without you. So, could you make a move roll for me, please, sir? How many successes is that?
That's 4.
Yeah.
This is making up for last session.
Yeah.
Some jumps and just flick flacks all the way.
Now that you know that pretty much you think you're impervious to being hurt, you kind of like just peg it. I mean, it doesn't take long for you to catch the others up as you sort of like move swiftly over the ground, avoiding the potholes, the knee-high bits of concrete, the horrible, sickly, oozy green puddles, and you all eventually make it back to your ship. It definitely took a lot quicker to get back to the ship, and you were right. The birds only followed you for a short way, and then they left you alone. What do you want to do?
Maybe, should we sleep tied up to the shore here? It's nighttime, right?
Is it?
Yep.
Is it still rotty out here?
I will
Maybe-
remind you that it is still rotty out here.
Well, then let's head to the sea.
I mean, I'm happy for you to get 6 rock points. I have no problem with that.
I'm not happy with that. I need to eat too, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you can kind of, which way do you want to go? North, south, east, or west?
Can we go back to the map of the open sea?
Indeed, we can.
Okay.
Although I don't think we know much about anything in those directions anyway. So
Should we start heading east or should we go south?
Well, south is a zone that you've not explored before. East, you have.
I don't know. Do we feel brave before I suggest something?
Yes, we do feel brave.
I would say maybe we go north into the deep water and then head east.
Ooh, okay. I'm sold.
So I recall we did get a glimpse of a boat in the distance heading that way when we were over this way before.
Well, before you make a full final decision, can 2 of you roll me a d6, please?
I will roll 1 if that's okay.
Roll the other.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, so -1, that's 4.
3.
3 minus 1 is 2. So 6 people die back at the ship.
Well, the question is, are the 6 people on the little island where they're fighting amongst each other, or the 6 people on the boat? We'll find out when we get back.
You'll find out when you get back.
Just remember, less mouths to feed, and let's hope that it's people we don't like.
I don't think we collectively like anyone.
So, what's the decision?
Yeah, let's do the North thing. I like that.
Here be dragons and stuff.
Can you put the crows on the map the way you did the spiders?
I can indeed.
Douglas just rolled dice twice privately.
Douglas did not. That was me.
I mean,
sorry.
not Douglas, Ed.
How dare you? I'll have you know my private dice are in real life on my desk if I roll them.
What I do with my dice in private is none of your business.
Exactly.
So going north, you say, right? Why don't you?
Would you like the navigator to roll?
Yes, please.
Would you like some sea shanties, Marco, to help you?
Why not? If Ed will permit it.
Ed will definitely permit it.
Unless I'm now getting annoying. Nope, still not annoying yet. That's one success on these sea shanties.
I have 1 success.
Okay, so you're going to get 2 successes. So what do you want to do your stunts on?
I want to read the rot level.
It is a week rot. So pretty much you'll get 1 rot per day that you spend here. Week rot, no, for every shift that you're here. So for every 6 hours you spend in the zone, you'll get 1 rot.
And do I have another stunt, you said, or no?
You have 1 more, yeah?
I have 1 more, okay. How about exploring the sector takes half the normal time? So 2 hours?
Yep, so it's 3 hours. What was it for? No.
It says usually 2 hours.
Okay, yeah. So, okay,
Page
that's
11
fine.
of the
Yes, it's
Deep-
4 hours. Yeah, that makes sense.
Deep Blue Sea Compendium.
Okay, yeah, you're going to explore the zone. Okay, well, as you sort of like start to explore, you make your way through the zone, having a look at what's there. Pretty much, it is open water. It is a lot of, probably D6.
I rolled a 2.
Yeah, so it continues on the storm that you kind of had the previous, or earlier on during the day, continues to sort of like blow itself out. As you continue further north into the night, the rain comes back and it starts to get heavier. The wind doesn't pick up much, but there's torrential rains that kind of like keep pounding the hull. Anyone who's outside without any kind of proper foul weather gear is going to need to make a roll for hypothermia.
Okay, I
So
guess.
who would be outside? Would that be me, I guess, because I'm the navigator?
You could potentially, I think. Yeah, you could
Unless
do all
there's
you
like
can.
a cabin with the steering wheel.
There's a little cabin, I suppose. Yeah, because it's a scrap vessel. So yeah, there's probably like a little cabin maybe, which kind of means you kind of like hunker down into it. Okay, I take it the rest of you are going to stay well and truly in the.
I guess there's no way to avert taking turns or something.
You could do, yeah, you could take turns. There's no problem with that. That would be a good way of avoiding that. You need to. It's going to be sort of like, so if you spend sort of a good number of hours outside, that's when you're at risk of hypothermia.
So
Just being out.
Caspian will just be like instructing us, like, you know, eyes on that star.
Stay inside.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it's open ocean. There does not appear to be anything here. As you're sort of making your way through through there, it is literally empty.
Okay, cool.
Which is much nicer than running aground.
Yes, exactly.
It is.
So I'm gonna like steal a moment, eat some grub,
You can so it'll
drink
take
some
you.
water.
Yeah. So it'll take you sort of like 6 hours basically of rest with your grub and your water to kind of like heal up and, stop doing that. I mean, you're not really going to do very much in the middle of the night. So you could literally stick a sea anchor out and just drift.
Yeah. Okay. So now, excuse me for yawning. Does eating the food and the water, does it heal the attribute?
It does, yes.
Okay. But I have 2 attributes that are damaged.
So you just eat its strength is a ration of grub, agility is a ration of water, wits is at least 4 hours of sleep. So it needs 4 hours of rest essentially to do that. And empathy, spending some time with each other, having a chat, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I need to gain back some empathy anyway, but I think I'm the only person who needs to gain back empathy.
Probably, but that's not a problem. Yeah, you could do that. You can share some stories and have a good old sing-song before you all go to bed. I have no problem with that as you drift through.
Yeah. I'll eat some food and gain a bit of strength.
Yeah, you kind of strap watches, I guess, and make sure that nothing collides with you in the middle of the night, like very large icebergs or anything. And yeah, the night passes. The rain continues to hammer down on the hull of the vessel. There's a few swells, nothing massive. And morning arrives, and you're left adrift on the ocean in a very nice, hot breeze with a few clouds in the sky, but it's mostly sunny. It's almost, dare I say it, a little bit warm.
Okay, so should we continue north, or should we now start heading through east, through areas that we've explored before, and then move so we can start moving toward the unknown?
I would say we're out here to explore. We head north again and then just head east, because then it'll all be new exploration. And, at any point we can just turn around and head south and be in somewhere that we are aware of, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I like that.
Would you like to sing a sea shanty, Cochrane?
Do you need to ask?
Well then,
Still one success, so not a repeat yet. The sunlight is putting me in a good mood, being part plant. It's like, nourishment, though.
Oh no, I have no successes.
My inspiration is meaningless. How could I sing it if he doesn't know what he's doing?
I'm going to have to push that.
and have to push it.
Well, what
We
happens when
just
you
take longer, I think, is it?
What happens when you fail a navigate roll?
Oh, that is a good question. What happens when you fail a navigate roll? Let's see what happens, shall we? Okay. NPCs or monsters in the sector spot you before you spot them, and if hostile, they ambush you.
Wonderful. All right, I'll go with that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you make your way north.
Maybe there's a kraken somewhere.
Release the Kraken.
I do love a kraken.
Who doesn't?
I know.
I don't know. That feels a bit like whatchamacallit in D&D, if it was like you go 2 squares outside to your home village and there's a dragon.
I've done worse. So, as you make your way further north into unknown territory and heading towards you, pretty much out of nowhere, you see 3 vehicles. The 3 vehicles are chucking out a bunch of smoke, and they are individuals, or at least it looks like individuals, on each one of these small vessels. Looks like a little scrap vessel that they're all sitting on. Let me, so I can just share my screen with you, shall I? I don't think I could do that, actually. That's all right. You see these 3 individuals on these little boats, individual powered boats, as they come racing, just out of reach of view, but they kind of come racing around, and they seem to be sort of checking you out.
Ed, in Riverside, on the bottom of the screen, do you see where it says share?
See, it's okay. You can share even better. Well, in that case, how about I share my screen?
Because, people listening will definitely enjoy you sharing your screen.
Oh, I know. Well, why not?
Who knows? Maybe if your paid Patreons might get a picture. Who knows?
They might get a picture. So that is what you see.
Oh, very cool.
Jet skis?
Yes, very, very War World, yeah.
Yes, they have
So
jet skis.
have we seen oil platforms before?
You have seen oil platforms before. They're usually a good place for a base or not.
Do we know
Yeah.
do we know that they used to be called oil platforms?
Yeah, you know that they used to be called platforms rather than oil platforms.
Okay. So just for the benefit of our listeners, we see an oil platform out in the middle of the ocean, 3 guys on what looks like jet skis coming at us.
Yeah. Yes, you can just make out on the horizon some kind of large platform, which is just visible on the horizon. But these 3 guys appear to be coming towards you and staying away from you, but sort of like scouting you out.
What do you think we should do, fellas?
The trading opportunities, I guess we ought to see if they're friendly.
I mean, they are checking us out. They're not, like they've not got guns out or something.
No, they do seem to have guns strapped on their back.
Anything else would be foolish. That's fine. So I'll just, put up an arm and wave.
Basically wave at them. They don't seem to wave back, but you can see they're sort of like keeping out of sort of medium range of weapons.
Do they appear to be armed?
They do. They don't have rifles over their backs. They each seem to have like a machete at their side, from what you can see. You've got glasses, haven't you? Field glasses. You can see them better.
Yeah, I believe I have binocs.
Make a scout roll. Give yourself a bonus from the binoculars.
2 successes.
Excellent. Yeah, you can clearly see that they have sort of like machetes at their sides. They have beer guns on their back, and there appears to be strap rifles actually attached to the little single-man boats that they're driving. They all have like a padded vest on as well, and helmets. So you can't see their faces. They're all kind of like masked in the helmet. But yeah, they're like sort of like keeping the distance. They're going around you. They kind of almost make like a 360 arc around you, but they don't seem to come any closer.
So I guess the question is, do we want to approach the oil platform or do we want to turn east?
Before we do that, we've got the big foreseen tubes, don't we? That we failed to mount.
Yeah.
Can I have a look at those and try and look at the oil platform itself, since that's even further away, and see if I can see what that is?
Yeah, you can do that. Make a scout roll. Just a scout roll. There's no bonus.
That is 2 successes on that.
Yeah, you sort of like look over at this large platform. It's big, grey, and rusted metal thing. You can see that there appears to be a flame coming out of a long tube.
Any sort of like writing on the side of the buildings of it?
Not, you can see, it looks like it's rusted red and grey colour.
There's definitely someone on that platform. There's like a little, seems very wasteful to be, maybe some sort of signal fire or something like that.
Could be.
Would I have a chance to comprehend that?
Yeah, make it comprehend, but you're going to need 3 successes.
No, never heard of anything like that before. Not a clue. Nah.
No clue whatsoever.
Well, they seem to be not hugely hostile, but they don't seem very happy that we're here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they're not exactly inviting. Let's just keep going.
Okay, so we're turning east?
Yeah, see if they follow us.
I mean, maybe they're just doing the same thing as those crows, right? Just telling us to mind our business and not explode their home base.
But,
yeah.
Like, could be.
We can always come back later with an army and take it.
True. I like it.
So Ed, shall I do another navigate?
Yeah, navigate if you're going east.
Going east.
And I guess, so no point.
I rolled nothing, but there are no biohazards, so I'm going to push that.
Yeah.
Douglas, do you want to sing a sea shanty?
I can, after our spooky thing, I can certainly, after, not doing a full thing, you're like, go on, sing a song. And you're like, yeah, okay, fine.
Give us a song, Cochrane.
1.
Wow.
Success.
So if you want to push your roll, sir.
I have 2 successes. Ouch. And I took 2 damage from that.
Yeah. Okay. It's quite tiring. Sort of like, you're spent sort of like a couple of hours going north. So you've got 2 successes, sorry. So you've got 2 stunts for you, sir.
Okay. So I want to read the rot level.
Okay. So what the rot level is? It's a weak rot level.
Okay. That's what I like to hear. If there is a ruin in the sector, I see it.
There is no ruins here. It is open water. There is nothing here. Yeah, you make your way. Again, the wind stays relatively calm. I mean, your sail catches the wind. It's not sort of like pushing it any further or faster than you would expect it to. There's a few squalls that kind of come and go as you sort of like go through it, but it mostly stays quite warm.
Are we being followed by those guys?
They watch you kind of leave and then they disappear. They don't follow you. It's almost like you're getting to a boundary, and then as soon as you veer off to the side, they just kind of let you go on your way.
And about what time of day is it now?
So this is going to be sort of like afternoon, starting to get into the afternoon. The sun is out. It starts to get nice and warm. The rain disappears that you had, and the squalls disappear. And it's actually a very nice day on the water.
Shall we continue to push east?
Yeah, why not?
Look at that. Yeah, gorgeous day out.
Give us a song, Cochrane.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep going.
Show some goddamn enthusiasm.
It's kind of hard to someone's, if he wants to do it by his own volition, it's like, sing, dance, monkey, dance. See, now he failed. Now he's getting on your nerves.
Excellent. He is getting on your nerves. Don't push that. I'm going to make a roll.
Question do my binoculars help in navigating?
That is a good question. It should tell you in the blurb that I've...
Scout and find the path skills, yeah.
Yes, it does.
All right, I should have been using it all along.
Well, do you want to add an extra dice?
I'm going to right now.
Does increase the opportunities for it to break.
Well, just the one dice. I mean...
So I
More
have
than if you don't use it.
I have no successes and one biohazard symbol. I'm just going to let that one ride since I already took 2 damage to my agility.
It's fine. Yeah, so it wouldn't have made any difference to that. But yeah, you're kind of... To be fair, Cochrane is getting on your nerves.
Yes. He's been singing the same song. There's no variation. And, I was expecting maybe some new sea shanties he might have learned, mix it up a little bit, maybe change the melody. But it's the same damn song, day after day, hour after hour. And he's off key now.
I'm sort of imagining brave Sir Robin territory here.
I mean,
notice this is only when we get to the D4, so it's obviously some sort of like D4 sickness.
You can all take 1 point of empathy damage.
Well, including Cochrane.
Including Cochrane. You're just fed up because things are just not, it's just...
Everyone's being pissy at even though he's doing the exact same.
I only have 2 empathy, so I'm down to 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are like one step away from just cannibalizing us there.
I mean, it's annoying. It gets warm. It gets hot. Mosquitoes come out of nowhere. It's just, it's a bit shitty and horrible, and it's just annoying. You'll start to get really annoyed.
Yeah. If my empathy goes down to 0, I'm going to eat Cochrane.
It's fine. I will just turn my arms into thorns, and you will choke at that while you eat me.
Okay. Yeah. It's just a bit shit, to be fair. Yeah. What's the plan?
We moved into the next zone.
So yeah, you're going into the next zone. No, so I asked for the roll just for to see if you got any extras on this zone, but that's fine. We'll go into the next zone. Okay, we continue east. Let's see what's in this zone, shall we? You continue on. Again, it's very warm. The wind doesn't change. It continues on into the afternoon. It is just open water. There doesn't appear to be anything here. It's just nothing but open sea.
And it's evening now, or is it late afternoon?
It's coming in. Yeah, it's coming into evening.
Coming into evening.
Yeah.
Should we? I guess we press on, right? And then we can weigh anchor and drop. We can drop anchor and sleep the night out on the water. It'd be better than sleeping on the boat that's on land, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I like this.
This time, Cochrane, keep your trap shut.
I think he wasn't even going to sing anyway. He's going to spend the next 3 hours doing photosynthesis, so he doesn't have to eat today.
3 successes.
What's this roll for?
Find the path into the next zone.
Oh, you want to go to the next zone? Okay.
I'm sorry.
We're not quite there yet.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah, well, in fact, I'll tell you what. Did you get some successes? I'll let you have this roll if you want.
I got 3 successes.
Cool.
And I also have an explosion symbol. I think I broke my binoculars.
Only if you push the roll.
Okay.
Yeah, you're kind of like it's just very dull and boring as you go through the zone. Something in the back of your head just tells you something's not quite right. And as you sort of are sort of going across the zone, you notice that there seems to be fish floating around you.
Dead fish?
Dead fish, yeah. And there's a large sort of shark as well that's also dead. And you realize that the sea around you, there's this horrible sort of luminescent green to it.
Oh, crap.
And very quickly you realize that you've drifted into a rock hotspot.
Now, is that the zone that we're in, or is that
That's the zone that you're in at the moment. You haven't gone across the new zone. But using your find your path, although you took the last one, or you didn't notice this one, you realize very quickly that is the case. And you need to hightail it out of there. Mm-hmm. So what I need from you, in fact, I'm happy with that roll. You pretty much push the sails. You tell Roach to get on the oars, and you start push it. Roach, would you like to make a force roll?
Force roll.
Force roll.
Yeah.
I think it's force. You need 2 successes to not get any rot. Would you like to push that? Ooh, you'll take some damage, but it means that people will not get rot. Depends. I mean, alternatively, you're going to get 1 rot.
Yeah, 1 rot's not so bad.
Essentially, it's 1 rot per minute. Per minute, because you're in a rot hotspot, but you needed 5 successes, and Mark already got 3. Pete's got 1. So you just need 1 more success.
Mutants getting rot.
Or you can get a point of rot. What would you like to do?
Well, you can either shout encouragement to me and I'll push it, or just let me.
Put you back into it.
And he does.
There we go.
You have failed to have any rot in the hot zone. You managed to get out just in time, and you sort of look back and you can just see there's like a slight haze where you were. Thankfully, you've managed to avoid that.
And it looks like maybe Roach threw his back out.
Yeah, he's definitely pushed himself quite a bit. But yeah, that then takes you on to the next one. So if you could then make another navigate roll as you go into the evening. Oh, no successes.
I have
Okay,
no
then.
successes. And I have 2 biohazard symbols, so I really can't afford to push that. So we're going to have to go with the failure.
Okay.
At this point, it's better off that you might be better off without a navigator.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay. You head into yet more open water. It's just a very desolate place around this island, it appears. But you do hear the sound of thunder coming back, and you see squalls coming towards you. And it starts to rain, and it starts to kind of like the wind starts to pick up again. Yeah, it sort of starts to be a bit troublesome, especially as you're going into night.
Yeah, so we should probably drop anchor.
Yeah, you can try and drop.
So
anchor.
is it
It's gonna be-
dangerous to drop anchor in the middle of a storm? Should we actually
It
go
is.
for...
Yeah, you
Okay.
probably would have to. You'd probably have to go with it.
And I
That's
would know.
probably-
So
yeah.
we
Right out, I think, is the.
write it out or write it out and try to get toward land? Like, what's safer? I would probably know this, right?
Going
Right.
towards land is probably safer because you could use the island as a buffer against the squalls and the wind and the rain.
So can we go for like over here?
Yeah, you can go south. But it's going to require a force roll from our good friend Roach or somebody else who's got force to help with the rowing and the navigating.
And you have multiple people rowing? Or is it just one?
So I think for this one, let me just check the ship that you have.
Cochrane, you're the only one with any kind of force besides Roach.
Yes, so he has more probably than me. But if we can both do it, then that's.
Just having a look now for you.
We may have lost Chris.
We have lost her, but she will be fondly remembered.
Let's hope she doesn't go overboard.
Well, I'll have another go on the oars then.
Go on, if you can make another roll on the oars, that'd be great.
No,
And Marco,
Yes.
You won't take any damage pushing that.
you can make
I will do some more bio, yeah.
Yeah, don't take any damage. If you can make a navigate, but -2 to your navigate roll.
Chris is back. Hello.
I'm glad that worked.
I think we might end up getting shipwrecked at this rate.
Hey,
I have 1
That's
success.
a random point in the map, aren't we? It'll be like, go explore.
okay. 1 success. Okay, that's fine. Just need the 1. It's not a problem.
I thought it was a -2.
Well, he's presumably -2 from his dice, so that's
Okay.
why.
Ooh, I was
Yeah.
a bit concerned there for a second because I was like, oh no, is that
Yeah,
negative
you
one?
have to battle through. You tackle it as you go through. It's hard going, and you double the length of time it takes to get through the zone. But it means that by the time you the squalls and the rain and the gales kind of blow themselves out, you make your way back to the same spot where your ship is.
I was
You
aiming more toward over here.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean that's still
okay.
part of the same zone, but yeah,
Yeah,
towards to the edge of that zone on the eastern side. That's fine. Yeah, you manage to get towards the land, use the land to shelter the last parts of the storm, and it's another day, another $1, and another grub and water from you, please.
I was sunbathing, so I will just roll my mutation.
Mhm.
See if anything happens from that.
All good. You
For me?
soak up the sun.
Everyone else was just being mean, so I might as well sunbathe.
Aw.
Feeling of being mean goes after a while, but you are left with a bit of doubt.
Okay, so I'm down to 1 grub and 4 water.
Yeah, we might as well go find some higher up the next zones, more hospitable like that.
Okay. How's the rest of your grub and water doing?
Down to shoot.
2 water and 4 grub.
Yeah, you've got plenty between you, I'm sure.
Got 2 grub and 3 water, but as long as I have mutant points, I don't need to eat grub. As long as there's sunlight as well.
So is it nighttime or is it morning again?
It is morning.
We didn't sleep tonight, right? We rode out
No,
the storm all night.
You're all very tired by the time we ride out the storm. I mean, you mostly were kind of like, in fact, I'll tell you what,
Are we all
why
sleepless?
don't we, let's have a look. Why don't you make endure rolls? Unfortunately, not for you, Marco, because you were the one actually having to navigate, or you, Roach, because you were the one rowing. But Douglas and Chris, if you both want to make a endure roll, if you succeed, you will be able to have got some sleep. If you fail, then you too will not have had any sleep.
If I succeed, I slept through the entire squall and just wake up in the morning. No, one success. I slept through the whole thing.
Okay. What about Moss?
I came out great thanks to my amazing use stoic
Moss was
talent,
dead to the
where I can
world.
use wits instead of strength.
Amazing.
Moss has 3 successes. She can sleep through an atomic bomb going off.
Yep. They both seem to be very, very alert in the morning. Unfortunately, Caspian and Roach look like shit.
So we have the sleepless condition. So what does that mean for us? Can you tell us?
It just means that you can't restore any wits healing while you are sleepless. But you do sort of anchor just outside of your home territory. So actually, there's nothing going to harm you here in this zone. This is your friendly zone. Right. What's the plan?
Well, we've still got enough supplies to go a bit further. And
Yes, but the navigator's really tired.
yeah, but he doesn't really want to. Well, for some reason, we didn't go back to the ship, so I assume he has his reasons why he doesn't want to go back quite yet. I look at our navigator.
Roach, maybe we should sleep for about 4 hours in the morning while these guys do whatever it is they want to do.
Oh, we can sail the boat.
Yeah,
you
you
are
just tell
not
us which
sailing
direction
my
to go.
boat. You are not sailing
All
my boat.
right then.
What do you say, Roach? Should we press on sleepless or shall we get some 4 hours of shut-eye?
Well, if you've, if we feel safe here, if everybody else happy with it, we'll rest here for 4 hours. But if feel the need to push on, I'll push through it.
I'm going to let the dice decide. So 1, 2, 3, Cochrane is going to go to sleep for 4 hours. 4, 5, 6, he's going to say, fuck it. Cochrane is going to sleep.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, is it Caspian? You mean?
I mean, Caspian is going to sleep. I'm sorry. Why am I talking about Cochrane?
He'd knock me out. And I'd be like,
Cochrane's going to sleep.
Oh, see, Caspian is so tired, he doesn't even know his own name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So while Roach and Caspian get some sleep, is there anything particularly you two want to do?
do we want to try and hit that binocular thing again?
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Because you almost killed yourself last time doing it.
Yeah, that's absolutely
And
right.
we're on
And,
land now, so it might be a bit easier.
I'm so nice and rested now. It should absolutely work.
Cool. Okay.
Excuse me. Maybe we can
Sorry.
have a little heart-to-heart as we work so that empathy comes back.
Seems like a plan. I like
Whistle
that.
lightly work.
Before I find a little corner to fall asleep in, I'll eat some food to try and restore some strength points.
Before we
Excellent.
start banging with the heavy tools.
Okay. Well, Chris, why don't you make a jury rig for me? And Cochrane can shout encouraging words at you.
I will shout encouraging words, but I don't think I can inspire her in any way to do this because I know nothing about technology.
Let's see how that goes.
With the lifting or anything. She's like,
Yeah,
hold
that's
this in
cool.
place.
Look at us go.
It turns out that it works really well. And between the two of you, you manage to fix it, I guess, the front of the catamaran. Yeah, you've now got a pair of binoculars attached to said catamaran.
Don't need someone to two people to hold it up while you look through it anymore.
Yeah.
Imagine we'd had that when we went past the oil field. Maybe we could have understood what that flame was doing at the top of it if we got a better look.
Unfortunately, looking through the binoculars while they're on the ground is a bit difficult.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't...
And hard to see because the horizon moves. And
And the spray always gets on them.
But yeah, you kind of do that, which gives you a sort of like a nice little project to do while the others sleep. And then it gets towards mid-morning, the others two awake. Well, guess we'll leave you guys there for the session. But I'm going to quickly cut back to the art. So our illustrious leaders, well, in fact, the one leader that we have, Elson, has decided, well, what has he decided to do? The projects. He has decided to continue building the watchtowers, and I believe he finishes it while you were away for your couple of days. You now have a completed watchtower, which means that one of you could please roll me a d6.
Do that if you like.
A whole one. Your warfare jumps 10. You've now got watchtowers just in time, as while they've just finished it, on board the ship, creatures start to come closer. A few of the people that are on the outsides of the ship, around the base of the ship, where there is some of the sort of like bits and parts that people kind of have used, the ladders, that kind of thing that go up into the ship, they get taken out by these large, crawling creatures. Someone roll me a d6 and -1. Anyone? Or I'll roll it. I don't mind.
I can do it.
Chris will do it.
Chris, roll me d6 -1.
Okay, that's 2 then.
Okay. As two people get taken, and for a brief second, there is a firefight as multiple of these creatures swarm on deck. But luckily enough, the watchtowers, having just been built, only allow a few of these creatures to get on board, and a brief firefight is had, and they are pushed back, leaving only 2 dead.
Is it something we've not seen before, or is it like our friends, the rats or the giant spiders?
No, these are large, sort of like humanoid creatures with multiple legs that come out of the water and attack the actual ship.
Yeah.
And then, as quickly and as silently as they arrived, they disappear off.
And they dragged 2 people with them.
And they drag 2 people with them. So unfortunately, you lost another 2 people. You are now down to 170 people in the ship.
Still too many mouths to feed.
Still too many mouths to feed. I mean, there's still that option of cannibalism.
Yes, there is. Since Caspian only has one little can of tomato soup left, he's definitely thinking about which one of them he's going to barbecue first.
You reckon that, well, probably Roach has got the tastiest amounts of meat on him as you lift off into a nice...
Roach is handy, so,
looks like Cochrane and Moss better start. It depends. Are you vegetarian? In which case, either of those is an option.
Now, I was thinking more of like someone from Rhett's gang.
Look at you little cannibal, you.